Hi, Funky Girls. Again, this is Mr. Lu. We will continue our Funky online learning, so please be ready for the lesson. Take out your physics exercise and turn to Chapter 3, page 3 now. In this section, we are going to learn a term, distance. I think every one of you know the meanings of distance. And what we will learn in this section, we will learn the distance traveled by an object if it is undergo a uniform accelerated motion. That means if the object is speeding up or slowing down during the journey, then how to calculate the distance traveled by the object. Here is the formula to let you to calculate the distance traveled by the object. It is a little bit long, okay, for this one. So we will try to understand the meaning of each of the terms. Firstly, the S stands for the distance traveled. The distance traveled by the object during the journey. And the unit for this one is in meter. And U means its initial speed, the speed at the beginning of the journey. The unit for the initial speed is meter per second, and T is simply the time, and the unit is in second. And then next one, this one A stands for the acceleration of the object, and the unit is meter per second square. Okay, this is our third equation that we learned in this chapter. Maybe we have a summary of all the equations that we have learned in these two lessons. The first one is about the average speed. Please pay attention. This speed is not the initial, not the final speed. It is the average speed. How to calculate the average speed of an object? We use this equation. We have to find out the total distance traveled by the object and then divided by the total time taken. So S stands for the distance traveled and T stands for the time taken. And the second one on page 2, which is the acceleration of an object. The acceleration of an object can be calculated by its final speed minus its initial speed. That means it is the change in speed of the object, and then divided by the time taken, the same symbol T. Then you can find out how the object change its speed with time, or the rate of change of its speed. And we have a new equation in this section. It is about the distance traveled by an object during the accelerated motion. Okay, so these three are very useful formula for this chapter. Maybe you can use a card or maybe use a paper to write down all these three equations. You may have to refer this equation during your calculation or in doing your homework. Okay, I will refer it as equation 1, equation 2, and equation 3. I will ask you which equation you will use. Okay, maybe we are going to try some example in this section. Okay, look at question 6. In this question, we have several numbers, or you have to find out something from the equation. Okay, in this question, in a 100-meter race, so it is the distance traveled. So you can write down the symbol which helps you to choose which formula that can help you to find out the answer. In a 100-meter race, 100 meter means the distance traveled. Kitty accelerate uniformly from rest. Do you still remember from rest? From rest means the initial speed. The initial speed is equal to 0 for the whole race. Okay, Kitty accelerate uniformly from rest. If she complete the race in 14 seconds, 14 seconds should be the time taken by Kitty. Can you find out the acceleration of Kitty? So you have these numbers you know the distance traveled by Kitty, her initial speed, and the time taken for the race. So can you find out her acceleration? So which formula you will use? So you have only one formula that help you to find out the distance traveled. Okay, so you use the equation 3, the third one. So put all the numbers into the equation. The distance traveled is 100 meter, and her initial speed is 0. So you do not need to write down anything because 0 times anything will become 0. Okay, so we have to move to the second term. Half A, I don't know her acceleration. I'm going to find out her acceleration, and the time taken for the whole journey is 14 seconds. And don't forget to write down the square. Okay, so you put down all the numbers in the correct places in the equation. Then you can find out the value of A by multiply 2 to the left hand side. This becomes 200. And then A times 14 square is equal to, so take out your calculator and then find out this value. It should be equals to 196. And then A can be found out, okay? It is equal to 1.02. But don't forget to write down the unit for this term. What is the unit for acceleration? Yeah, it is a bit complicated. This is the meter per second square. So it is the correct answer. Otherwise, you can't get marks from your answer, okay? It is question 6. Then you can try question 7 by yourself if you are confident enough, or you can take a look of my demonstration, okay? Okay, if you have confidence, then you can pause the video and then check with your answers with my solution later on. Or otherwise, we will discuss it now one by one. A ball rolls with an initial speed at 12 meters per second. So you know the initial speed, it is U, okay? So don't mix it up. U represent the initial speed and V represent the final speed, okay? The initial speed is 12 and it decelerate uniformly. What's meant by decelerate? That means the opposite of accelerate. Decelerate means the object slows down uniformly and come to rest. What's meant by come to rest? That means the ball decelerate, slows down, and finally becomes rest. So you know what is the final speed of the ball? It should be equals to 0. Okay, so don't forget to write down this value. And after this time, 14 seconds. What does it mean? That means the ball roll with an initial speed 12 meters per second, and then it slows down uniformly and come to rest after 40 seconds, right? So can you find out the acceleration of the ball? So you have UVT, and you have to find the value A. So which equation you will use? Right. Okay. If you have write down all the formula that I mentioned just before, then you should use the second equation. So you have 3 equations. You have to check it out which equation that can help you find the unknown. So this one, the acceleration is equal to the change in speed divided by the time taken. So you put down all the numbers into the correct places. A is equal to the final speed is 0, and the initial speed is 12, and the time taken is 40. Then use your calculator. 0 minus 12 is minus 12 divided by 40. It should be equals to minus 0.3. Now don't be worried, okay, about the minus sign. It stands for the deceleration. Okay. So it is minus. There should be a minus sign. If there is no minus sign, then you may make mistake in your calculation. minus 0.3 was the unit for acceleration, so it is meter per second square again, okay? And then next, question part B. Can you find out the total distance traveled by the ball before stop? So you have to find out the value of s. So you have to find out the distance traveled. Which equation you should use? Yeah, equation 3. It is the only equation that can help you to find out the distance traveled. So what quantity you need before you find out you put them down into the equation? You need the initial speed, you need the time taken, you need the number a. Do you have all this value? Yeah, this one is 12, and the time taken is 40, and the acceleration is minus 0.3. So you use the equation 3, the third equation, and then put the numbers into the equation. U is 12, and the time taken is 40, plus half A is minus 3. Don't forget to write down the minus sign, okay? And the time taken is 40 square. Is it okay? Then use a calculator to find out this value. I'm not going to do it step by step for you. Then can you get the correct answer? 240. And don't forget to write down the unit for this quantity. And the unit for distance should be meter. Okay? Is it okay? For question 7. Then we move to the next one. A police chase a thief along a straight road. He starts from rest, okay? So what do you understand about starts from rest? Yeah, that means the initial speed is equal to 0, okay? And he accelerates at 1.5 meter per second square for 6 seconds, okay? That means he starts from rest and accelerate for 6 seconds. So can you find out the distance traveled by him during the journey, okay? So you have to find out the value of s. I think it is not difficult for you, okay? So you can try it by yourself now, and then you have to pause the video and then do it, and then check it out with my demonstration. Okay, ready? Okay, I suppose you have finished. Okay, so which equation you will use? Yeah, the only equation that can help you to find out the distance travel is the third equation. Okay, and then you have to put down all the numbers into the equation. U is 0, so you can ignore this term. It will be 0, okay? And then equals to half, and then A is 1.5, and the time taken is 6 square, okay? So the distance travel is 27 meter, okay? Don't forget the unit, okay? Is it okay? Now we have go over question 6 to 8. Then can you do this question by yourself? Okay, I think you have confidence enough to do these 2 questions, okay? So please pause the video and then do it now, and then check it later after you have finished. Okay, I suppose you have finished, okay? So I'm going to discuss them one by one with you. And then for question 9, it says that, okay, Yvonne slides down along a straight water slide. I do want to play water slide, but because of the car suspension, we have to stay home to be more safe, okay? Okay, slide down along a straight water slide from rest, okay? So you know, it means U equal to 0, and then she accelerates at 5 meter per second square down the slide and take 3 seconds to finish the whole journey. So can you find out the length of the slide? So you have the value of U, and then A, and then this one is T, right? And you have to find out the length of the slide. That means the distance travel. So you should use, okay, the third equation. So u is 0, then you can ignore the first term on the right hand side, and then equals to half a is 5, okay, and the time is 3 seconds. So the distance travel is 22.5 meter. Okay, okay, a very simple one. Okay, and then we come to the last one. Okay, in question 10, Stanley kicks a football and the ball moves on grass at an initial speed 9 meters per second. So it should be the value of u. And then it experiences a deceleration of 4 meters per second square. Please pay attention to this term. This term is deceleration. Okay, so you must be very careful. Okay, for this quantity. And then you have to find out how long. What's meant by how long? It doesn't mean the distance traveled by the ball. How long means the time taken by the ball during the journey. Okay, so you have the initial speed and the deceleration, and you have to find out the time, right? You have these two. Okay, but do you have enough numbers that can help you to solve the problem? Okay, maybe look at the question once again. Stanley kicked a football, okay, and it moved on the grass at an initial speed 9 meters per second at the beginning, and then it decelerate. That means its speed becomes 8, 7, 6, and so on. And finally, it comes to rest. Okay, so how long means if the ball comes to rest finally. So you should have the you should be take care of it. Okay, that means the final speed of the ball is equal to 0. So which equation you should use? So you should use equation 2, right? And the acceleration is 4. It should be minus 4 because it is a deceleration, not an acceleration. Okay, so minus 4 equals to 0. The final speed of the ball is 0 because it finally comes to rest. And the initial speed is 9, and the time taken is, I don't know. You have to find out this one. Okay, so you multiply t to the left hand side. Minus 4t equals to 0 minus 9 is equal to minus 9. Then the time is 2.25 seconds, right? And how far? How far means the distance travel. Okay, how far means the distance traveled by the ball during the journey. Okay, so you have to use this equation, and then you put all the numbers into the equation. The initial speed is 9, and the time taken is, okay, the answer in part A, 2.25 plus half minus 4. Okay, it is the deceleration, and the time taken is 2.25 square. Then you can find out the distance traveled by the ball, which is equal to 10.125 meter. You can give me this answer. It is the exact value, or you can correct it to 3 significant figures. Okay, then you can write down 10.1 meter. Either of them are correct. Okay, either of them is correct. Okay, so you can give me any answer is okay. Okay, it is the third formula we have learned in this section. Okay, it is about the distance travel by an object in a uniform accelerated motion. Okay, you have to try the assignment 3. There are several questions about the distance travel. So please use the rest of the time to finish the homework, and then email to Mr. Chen or email to me for you all. Okay, so this is the end of this section. Is it okay? Okay, so be healthy and stay at home. Okay, be safe. Okay, goodbye. Bye bye.